make a lot of videos all the time. Oh, that's recording. So formal leadership being the titles, the status, the recognition that this is your job, and informal being your influence as a follower. It's not technically your job to influence, but there are still problems that need to be addressed, or there are other followers who aren't cooperating, or even other followers who aren't feeling included.
I am currently on the board of a nonprofit that is a church-oriented nonprofit. Along with that, I've done some planned some events in the church and just kind of said, hey, is anyone interested in doing this? And gotten a few people who were interested and kind of informally led that group.
I'm currently the social media manager at my church, and I am in charge of posting on all the social media, as the name implies, and basically marketing our church to the outside world. And so I'm basically the link between the inside of the church and the outside of the church.
I currently lead the young adult Bible study at our church, and I'm also the assistant Sunday school superintendent. I act as a facilitator in those settings. So for discussion and figuring out announcements and what's going on with the people in the church body. We also have a lot of committees, I think, where like Sunday school, there's a facilitator for that as well, like a coordinator. A lot of coordinators for different things. If we have a weekend where we have a speaker come out, there's also people who are going to be coordinating who's doing the kids classes, who's doing the food, housing coordinator of where people are going to stay. You have different people on a board where there's a treasurer, there's a secretary. Those are all types of leadership roles that we have. So it's not necessarily like a hierarchy, it's just things that have been delegated so that all members are able to kind of participate in ways that they have their strength.
One thing that I do get really excited about is at the gathering every summer, where I kind of took it upon myself to take over the kids' singing program. I saw a problem with that they were kind of bored with it, and I knew that they could handle more of a challenge, and I just feel like every year they impress me more. I'm in charge at the top, but I let the older kids know, you're the leaders too. Set a good example for the younger kids, get them excited, inspire them to want to be here as well. And I do that because they're the least excited, and so if I give them more of a purpose, then that's going to motivate them more.
I think sometimes creating areas for that person's strength. Within a church setting, I think looking at your members and seeing a person who's maybe not as involved and wanting to be involved, having a conversation with them about what would you like to see happen, what would you maybe be willing to do in that area, and creating an outlet for whatever that strength happens to be.
When you are enthusiastic and so excited about something,
When
it
you have
causes
charisma.
other people. Yeah, absolutely. It causes other people to feel the same way. When you show that enthusiasm, then other people are much more willing to step up when they see how great of an experience it can be.
There are certain traits that leadership experts have found to be the most effective, and those include confidence and charisma and sociability, getting along with people and showing them what a great time we're having. We're confident in what we're doing. We're confident that we're doing a good thing, and when we're confident in our work, then other people are going to want to join in because, well, we must be doing something right.
I also think that in addition to the charisma factor, there's also that deeper connection that you want to make with people by finding something or some way to connect with them within a church environment. It could be something like their passion for music. Connecting with them over that, or seeing why they want to fill that need, and then being able to offer them something that fulfills that need.
I think sometimes it's important also to see where, not only where their strengths lie, but where their weaknesses and their challenges lie, and try to help create room for growth.
Conflict is a good thing as long as it's facilitated correctly and respectfully.
I try to encourage the other board members to try to thoroughly understand other perspectives. We all have our perspective, we have what we believe is right and wrong, but to listen and be able to summarize someone else's view, I think it's really important to be able to summarize a view I disagree with in a way that that person would agree is accurate. It's really easy to take, summarize their view in a way that belittles them, but to be able to summarize it in a way that they would say, yes, that is accurately what I believe. And that's kind of the point from which you can now have a discussion about it.
I think it's important that everyone feels heard. In any setting, you're going to have people who are a bit more conservative and people who are a bit more liberal. And even when you have people on opposite ends of the spectrum, it's still important that you are allowing everyone to voice their thoughts. You make it clear as a leader that you value everyone's input. Whether or not you agree or disagree with it, you need to make sure that they know that they're valued.
I think a lot of conflict happens because assumptions are made, and so taking the time to make sure that everyone is understanding the other side, like you said, is really important, because you can't have a conversation to solve a conflict if you aren't talking about the same thing or you don't understand where the other side is coming from. And respectfully disagreeing with someone is a concept that I think is really hard for some people. Being able to hear the other side, understand where they're coming from, while also acknowledging that you don't agree with that and seeking to find that compromise is a good way to work through it. But you can't have that conversation if you can't have it respectfully and actually take the time to understand where they're coming from.
Whether you're facilitating the conflict or you are one of the sides of the conflict, listen more than you talk, because we feel so passionately about a particular subject that we have to be outspoken about it. You're not ever going to know what's on the other side if you don't listen. This is what the other person is saying, and they might be right.
Because I took a nice 20-second video of that plant. Just
That could be your intro, where you're like, you put the text on there. It's just a plant in the background. Nice and calming.
like, wow, that's so nice.